Hi there and welcome back to my channels, and in this video I'm going to show you my complete collection of the Comicave Studio 112 scale Iron Man armor, and also 122 scale the Optimus Transformer from the last night movie. Now all of them has LED light up points, and I have already turned on all of them, and they all have the 75% die cast. Apart from Transformer is about 50% die cast, and the rest of them is all 75% die cast with LED light up point, and also the about 20 point of articulation, and that's supposed to be all premium collectible item. So they all cost around about £70 to the £100, depending on which one you go for. So the cheapest one is the Shade, and that is the Shade or Shotgun, whatever you call it. They're basically the same look, it's just a different paint job. And that one is the cheapest out of all, because mostly the die cast part is only on the leg, and on the top part is all plastic, and that's the reason why. And so if I pull this off, it's kind of interesting. You can see the how it's actually work, and you can see the whole leg is actually a die cast, and then this is where the battery part is, and the whole top part is plastic, and this is really bizarre. So if you put it together, this is how it goes, and then you can turn on a light on it like this. So this is a reason why it's cheapest, and also the articulation wise in this one is a bit restricted compared to the rest, and the packaging also looks very different. So it comes with the old style fire effects compared to this guy, right? This guy has a different kind of fire effects. If you see a bit, you got a bit amber and then orange and so on, and this one is all plain orange. So that's the difference. This is the original release from the Comicave, I believe. So because of that, they haven't made a very good job on this one, and then later on I think they have modified it and they make it a bit better version, and then they release it in an iPhone style box, and yeah, it comes with all the accessories and all the stuff in there. Now in the old day they have the dynamic stand on this one as well, so that's the good thing. But in the new one, in the new release, they don't have any of those dynamic stand anymore, but they still provide the fire effects on the feet which doesn't make sense. How do you fly without a dynamic stand? But they provide it anyway, so okay. So I use those fire effects on my Star Wars, and it seems to work well. So there we are. Anyway, so that's the cheapest one, and then the rest is about £70. I think this is about £70. This is about £100. Even though they look the same and the same design, it's just a different color, and I don't know what the price difference here. Articulation wise, it's okay. It's not amazing like the 3A, the Mark 43, I believe, and Mark 43 is coming out soon. Some people in China has already received them, but in the UK and Europe we haven't received it yet. I asked the 3As, and 3A said that they've been delayed and they've been sending in batches, and hopefully I will get it soon, but probably in September. Looks like now it's almost the end of August, so yeah, which is a shame. I think 3A Iron Man is definitely better in terms of articulation wise, but then again they only use the DLX, which is a die cast is only on a skeleton like a Bandai, and not on the surface. So basically most of the surface parts on the 3A is all the plastic, but inside is a die cast. Okay, now you might say, okay, how the hell do you know that? Do you have the some kind of magic mirror that can actually predict the future? Well, that's because I own the all the 3A DLX scale, and also I have contact to the 3A customer service. I'll talk to the design team, and I know what they do. So basically that's what they told me, and I know that 3A will have most of the die cast is all inside the figures, and some of the surface might be a little bit die cast, but most of them are inside there. And nevertheless, they're gonna have a lot less use of die cast compared to Comicave. Now, as a compromise, you're gonna have the less articulation in these figures, but you got more die cast. So there we are. Now these two mentioned it to you before. So these are Midas and Mark 7. They are again basically the same. Mark 7 is a bit cheaper than Midas. Midas is about £100. This is about 70 or 80 pounds. So again, yeah, so it's about the same. I don't know why they always increase these two in price, and these two is a bit less. Maybe it's because of red paint. I have no clue, but there we are. And they are the same, and they are based on Mark 7 body structures. The same accessory, everything exactly identical. It's just a different paint job. However, I'm not really a big fan of this Midas paint job, unfortunately. So I decided to get the Hot Toy official Midas figure itself, and it is actually worth it. So if you've seen my Hot Toy review, have a check it out, because they do have more details on the waist part, a lot more moving part. For example, here is you get some of the moving part on the leg, but in the Hot Toy you got a little bit on the side as well, and also at the back you get better articulation, the better paint job, more depth and more detail, and so on and so forth. So because of that, I went with Hot Toys at the end, because I wanted proper gold color figures. But this is not bad. I mean, Comicave is okay for 1/12 scale, but you got what you pay for. Another thing that I don't really like with a Comicave is you got massive gap in the chest part. See, this is really big space there. But the in the Hot Toys, you don't have that much space. And also another thing I'll show you is that they always seems to have a little bit of gap in between the waist and the chest part. But the Mark 7 and Midas is a lot more noticeable than these guys. So there we are. And then I got one more here, and they also do Mark 42 and 43 as well. But unfortunately, this one does not work with the LED lighter point. It's broken. So this is a problem with the buying stuff on eBay. Speaking of eBay, I got all these figures from a different Chinese seller from eBay. I could not get it directly from the Toy Wonderland or things like that, because they don't actually sell them. So there is some of the stuff from the ShowZ store. ShowZ is also very good. If possible, I would recommend you guys to get it from the ShowZ store. But unfortunately, they're all sold out. They hardly ever had any of these Comicave figure now. People have been saying that they don't make this anymore. So it's very hard to find them unless you go on eBay and hunt it down from a Chinese seller, because technically all these figures come from China, and they all manufacture in China, and they still have tons of stock left in China. So there we are. But they don't necessarily expose to other country, or because partly they don't have a license for it, because the manufacturer and the Comicave, they have a problem. So Comicave basically ditched them, and then the Chinese manufacturer, they have so much stock left, and then they can't actually export it. So basically they're giving it to all the seller in China, and then they just selling it by themselves with a very knockoff price basically. Comicave is saying that this is a fake, they are not real, and they are counterfeit, blah blah blah. But to me, they all looks real enough to me, and they all have a Comicave packaging. They all have a Comicave emblem on the box, and so on and so forth. So I don't know what to believe anymore. I believe they are real, but they do have quality issue in some of the figures. Partly, I guess the manufacturer don't care, since the Comicave don't pay them enough, so they don't really care about it. They just make it and then sell it quick, and then be done basically. So the quality control is gonna be issue in some of these figures. So for example, I have this one has a battery problem, so it doesn't work. I check it, everything, the wiring and everything, it just don't work. And then, as you can also see here, some of the chest part here that on these figures, and they have all paint wear off, mainly because of the way that they shipped it and the box, and they rub off all these paint. So that's the problem maybe. But then again, I'm not too sure. But then some of the figures, like this guy, for example, the blue steel, has a problem with articulation on the neck. It doesn't turn, it can't stuck. It can only move about this range, and it can't turn to the other side. You can turn, this way, and that's pretty much it, and it's kind of stuck there. So this is a problem with quality control with Comicave, which is why I'm not buying any more Comicave in the future. And what I got here is that's it. But however, out of all these figures, I would say Hulkbuster is the one. Okay, if you want to have a decent Comicave quality one, go for Hulkbuster. It's amazing. In fact, this is actually better than the 3.0, I would say, mainly because it has more die cast. It is actually 1.8 kilo heavy on the figure alone. Okay, if you watch the Hulkbuster review on its own, and I mentioned it there, it is actually 1.8 kilo plus the packaging, so it totally is about, believe it or not, it's like 4 or 5 kilo actually in total, with all the stuff in it. It's crazy. 3A have the packaging alone is about 1.8 or 1.5 kilo. So that's the packaging alone. So plus with the figures, and they are gonna be half the weight of this guy. That is for sure, because 3A told me that they don't have die cast every surface of the figure. Most of them are plastic painted on it, and the paint job is gonna be awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love 3A. I love the Transformer line. I'm gonna get all the Transformer line if possible. I have 2 of them on pre-order already. I have Optimus Prime and also the new Bumblebee. Unfortunately, it's kind of pushed back on the production line, so I will be hoping to get it in October and November this year. First, they said it will be in September, but now it's going to a couple month delay. So anyway, so 3A is really good in terms of quality control, in terms of articulation, in terms of paint job, weathering effects. It's amazing. 3A, I love it. Right? I love that company so much. I will buy almost everything I can from them if they have all the die cast. Of course, they have loads of plastic figure as well, and I'm not really keen on plastic, and some of the Game of Thrones figures, I'm not really watch these things, so I don't know them. So, but Transformer line, definitely I'll go for it. Now they are starting with the Marvel line as well, which is hoping that they will continue. So that's why I ordered the Mark 43. But I was reluctant to get the Hulkbuster as well. The reason why it doesn't have a lot of die cast, and also it has a lot less LED lighter point. And the main difference is this Hulkbuster, as you can see here, you can see the Mark 43 is inside the Mark 44 Hulkbuster already. Apology for those of you who have watched my previous video. I keep mentioning the round numbers. I keep thinking that the Mark 43 is actually a Mark 44. Hulkbuster is a Mark 45. I don't know why the one numbers go up. So I apologize for that. But anyway, in this video, I was mentioning to you correct number. So so the main difference is 3A will have the Mark 43. You can split it just like this guy. So you can split the guy in half, okay, like this. And then you can put this top part go in that Mark 45. Okay, so that's how it's gonna work. And so it is gonna be cool when you open it, and when you got completely hollow in there, and then you can physically take the top part and put it in the other guy, which is really cool. But it has less die cast and less LED lighter point. For example, and Comicave, these figures, if I move these guys away, you can see that Hulkbuster on its own. So for example, this is quite heavy. Okay, and the hands are actually LED lighter point here. So if I pull one of the hand, and you can see that this is actually lit up. Okay, so you got battery in there. You got switch here as well, so you can switch it off. It is a bit not too bright in the daytime, unfortunately, but it is actually work, as you can see. So that is the one of the thing, and also the fingers are individually articulated. In the 3A, you can see on the actual website, and these fingers are actually fixed, and you can't have to replace them like a traditional ball joint style. So that's the one difference with the 3A and Comicave. And another thing is, and not only, as I mentioned to you before, not only the die cast is inside, it's also on the surface as well. So for example, all of these parts, they are die cast. Okay, the shoulder part, this is all die cast. The whole arm, all the way, they're all die cast. Okay, this arm piece is die cast. The shoulder pad, they're all die cast. And this front part is plastic, by the way. Okay, you can open it by having the button on its back. Oh, this side kind of stuck. There you go. And so these are plastic. This whole leg is again die cast. Now you got more LED lighter point here. So you got one on the chest, the same as 3A. But what you don't get is the light on the eye and also on the chest of the Iron Man. That is on its own with the Mod 43. But in this case, they are already included. And the eye also lit up. Okay, so the eye also lit up. So you can see it is there. And the back also lit up. The same with 3A. Okay, you can see you got couple LED lights and couple of the LED light here. So that is the same as 3A. But what you're gonna not have is the leg. The leg has 2 additional LED lighter point on the back and also on the feet. Okay, and also on the front as well. If you can see it, there you go. Okay, so you got some more on here. You got 2 here, 2 on the knee, 2 on the back, 2 on the foot. So you got quite a lot of extra LED lighter point on the feet and 2 on the arm. So it is quite a lot more. And then a lot more die cast because everything about this guy is so heavy to touch and everything is so cold. So that is a really cool thing about this Comicave. I mean, you can check it out on the Justin collection as well. He got this one as well, and you can get it from the Toy Wonderland officially. So this is the proper products. It's not fake. You can get it safely from the Toy Wonderland. That is a good thing. So I really like this Comicave Hulkbuster. That is the best that I have from this production line. Anyway, I also got Eagle. So Eagle is also lovely. And this is again die cast 75% in here. And individual articulated hand. Okay, so you only have lighter point on the chest and the eye. Hopefully you can see it. It is there. Okay, but that's about it. Nothing else on the hand or anything like that. Wait a minute. Oh, is that the light on the knee as well? Or is it just a silver part? Oh, it is silver part, sorry. So anyway, so it is quite a lot of bits and pieces in here. And you got articulated backpack as well. All these spines actually can move. I can't see. Oh, there you go. You can move some of the pieces around. Some of the part, I don't know how to move it. So anyway, so it does actually do a few articulation around if you want to. So it is really cool figures and quite heavy as well. Now this one and the my 3A Transformer Bumblebee. Bumblebee is a lot lighter than this guy. This guy is heavier. This is nearly 700, I think. Bumblebee is only about 500. And considering that they are about the same height, you know. So there we are. You can see that is a lot more die cast in these figures. Everything is spring loaded and they're really nicely done. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk about this Comicave not Hulkbuster, the Optimus Prime another time. I polished it. I cleaned up quite a lot of bits and pieces in there, and now it looks a bit better. But the story is I got this one broken, loose joints, and oxidization problem on these figures and from the Chinese seller. So I don't recommend this Chinese seller called Dragon Toys, but obviously he has all the link with other couple other company stores in the eBay as well. So you gotta be watch out and careful with what you buy from eBay. This is the problem with Chinese sellers, and some of them are reliable, some of them are not. They will send you some of the dodgy stuff, and then the only solution is they're gonna refund some money back to you, and that's about it. They will not accept return. And another thing is and you got a guarantee from the eBay. So if they don't sort out your problem, eBay will step in and help you out. And then I complain a little bit about this guy because I'm not happy with the way I received it. So eBay helped me out and saying that you don't need to send the figure back, you can keep it, and then they will refund the money back for you. So in a way, I got these figures for free, which is good. But then again, it is actually a lot of problem. So I don't even put it in my display cabinet. If I have to be honest, I left it outside completely. Just put it by the fireplace on the floor and leave it in the dust. I don't care, because technically this figure has so much problem there. And people say that it's a weathering effect. No, it's not. I know what a weathering effect looks like. I've seen it in the real life with other video as well on the YouTube. So I know what weathering effects and what oxidation problem is. I can tell the difference in between there. But this guy has a lot of problem. But then again, you can't do much about it because Comicave don't make these stuff anymore. So you can't stop with it basically. You either accept it as it is or you don't. So that's the problem with the older figures from the Comicave. So the plan for me is in the future, I'm just gonna stick with the Hot Toys and the whatever diecast version they do, and obviously 3A. Hopefully all the Marvel line that they make in the future, I'll be getting them. But unfortunately, they are very slow. They spend a long time to make some of them figures, but I suppose that this is good for for the customer, I guess, because they have a decent quality control. Man, all the Transformers I receive from 3As, I never have a single quality control problem. They're all amazing. They're all consistent. They all have good paint job and good features. All the articulation is amazing. I love 3A. I love Bandai's articulation wise. Hot Toys, they're also good. If possible, I would like to get all these figures in a Hot Toy 1/6 scale in diecast, but they don't do that. They only do it in plastic in the old day, and they only remake some of them like a Midas or Mark 7 or Mark 43 in the diecast. So that's a problem. So I'm gonna keep these Comicave because of the 75% diecast. I love diecast in my figures or motor cars, so that's why I buy them. I keep them in my collection. But the for a long term, I think Comicave probably not ideal for going forward, unless they make a decent product from the reliable source like a Toy Wonderland or something like that, like a Hulkbuster. Then definitely I'll go for it. But from the eBay for different Chinese seller without an official website or anything like that, these figures maybe is a bit risky. That's all I'm saying. So you might get a decent one, sometimes you might not get a decent one, and you might get a broken one or problem with oxidation or things like that. So you have to take a bit of risk on it. So anyway, I hope this is a helpful video for you, and do let me know if you need any help with any of these figures to get in the future, or maybe I can recommend some of the Chinese sellers that I received. Some of them I will not recommend, some of them I will do. So anyway, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Cheers.